Hi, I'm Levesque of the Environmental Policy Unit here at the Grenfell campus of Memorial University of Newfoundland. And welcome to our Research Dissemination Series, a series that takes a look at environmental issues of significance to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Today we are taking a look at drinking water in the province of Newfoundland. It is here, for example, where people, and typically in smaller communities, shun the water that comes out of their taps and go out to obtain their drinking water from springs located throughout the province. Springs are just an opening in the Earth's surface from which groundwater flows. In other words, it is a transition from which groundwater becomes surface water. To learn more about this issue, I spoke to Nicol, a professor in the Geography and Environmental Studies departments at the Grenfell campus of Memorial University.
Well, basically, what we did was look at springs in a small area of western Newfoundland. We sampled close to 100 different springs. Some of these springs we sampled repeatedly to kind of get a time series on the spring water quality. And we found that many of these springs were not acceptable in terms of the Newfoundland or Canadian drinking water standards related to E. coli and coliform count. Roughly 43% of these springs showed the presence of these organisms in the drinking water, which, if they were community water supplies, this would be deemed unacceptable.
As Professor Nicol explained, there are many reasons why people have turned to spring water for their main source of drinking water in this province.
A lot of it, I think, goes back to the huge number of boil orders that exist in the province. And these come on and come off communities, and some of them have been on communities for many, many years.
Yet for some communities on the west coast of the island, the challenge is formidable. In Stephenville, for example, 70% of residents get their drinking water from local springs.
I think it dates back to the fact that at one point in time, Stephenville water was not very good. I think there were issues related to contamination by the military base there with surface water supply. The town has now dug wells, and I understand that this water is very good. The tap water in Stephenville is now a very good quality because it is coming from true groundwater, and people I've talked to there suspect that this spring water is actually coming from the same aquifer as the town groundwater. It's probably the same water, it just doesn't have any chlorine. I think taste is another thing that people are concerned about, and they don't like the chlorination. And I think probably this comes out and may be very important in a place like Stephenville. Here's an easily accessible spring. The water is very good. It's essentially town water. It just doesn't have any chlorine in it.
In the end, local and provincial policymakers are placed in a difficult position.
From a policy issue, it's the policy of the Newfoundland government to not recommend the use of springs. They claim that their advice is that they're untreated, untested, and therefore should be avoided. I think from the government's perspective, if they begin to test and signpost springs, all of a sudden they've doubled or tripled or quadrupled their workload. There's just so many springs out there. We counted in our survey, we had well over 100 springs, and we didn't even sample all of those, and this is just in a small area of western and central Newfoundland.
For more information about Professor Nicol's study and on other environmental issues related to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, visit the Environmental Policy Unit's website under Research Dissemination.